Quite often, people who are created from nothing and remember no past life believe in nothing, their first life. Because it makes sense after all. How can there be something after your brain ceases to function and sensory perceptions are no longer able to perceive reality any longer? And this makes sense to people that I would label as first timers. It's always easy to spot a first timer because they're not very religious and they think, well, after you die, there's nothing. It just goes black, and that's nothing. There's nothing. You cease to exist, or you forget, come back human, or whatever, and you just forget your existence forever. So, if you, for all intents and purposes, if you do not remember your first life, you are a first timer, or if you don't remember a past life, you are a first timer. And quite often, this is where a lot of people do not see eye to eye how to teach religion to a first timer, and why there is such a huge discrepancy between religions. As I stated earlier, there's more than one thing that can happen to you after you die. So say you're in this type of a circumstance. You're reincarnated here, you had a past life on Earth in your previous existence, ended up on Earth again. Maybe you would come to the logical conclusion that Buddhism is true. It must be true, because after all, you would know from experience that it's scientifically logically proven to you that reincarnation is true, but that does not mean Christianity is untrue. Absolutely not. Christianity focuses on a person who claims to be the oldest and wisest in relation to time and be omnipotent, in a sense, God here. And this is entirely possible to be true, and for a lot of Buddhist beliefs to be true as well. So a lot of people say it's not natural for people to not have sex or do the things that God is telling you not to do, because it's our mortal desire to do these things. And I agree, a lot of what God is telling you to do is not natural for a human, but you're asking for something supernatural to happen to you, something that goes outside the realm of understanding of mainstream science. So God is saying this is the fastest, shortest, easiest way for a first timer to get to happiness, and not everyone agrees with how that is taught. And that's perfectly normal for there to be disagreements in very highly intellectual, experienced people on Earth to not agree with how religion is taught. That's perfectly normal. Now everyone agrees with how not everyone agrees with how it's taught to children. And all types of children are different, but for their own good and for their protection, some people say Christianity is the easiest to understand, in a sense, a religion to teach to a child. Whereas Buddhist beliefs on Earth can lead to a lot of misconceptions, and Earth is a complex place for someone that doesn't fully understand their environment or their world yet, for a first timer. So how do you get a first timer to eternal happiness? And that's still a matter of debate. So creation and the act of creating, when done responsibly and ethically, could lead you to a circumstance where you inherit where you're not in a sexual circumstance to create any longer. So if you're very unethical in your creation or the act of creating, you couldn't inherit a sexual circumstance where you're no longer able to create, such as be a homosexual. You have to be responsible to your creations, take the time to care and raise them, in a sense, be a worker in this community and provide resources to them and for others. So is it wrong for someone to say, hey, you're extremely young in this universe, there's an easier way and better form and circumstance and place you could inherit, and you'll endure great hardship staying on this path, but you can get there if you persevere and stay the course. And staying the course is a lot harder than you would think. I would ask that you be responsible. You don't have to be religious if you don't want to. At the same time, what's the reason to hate on people that are walking on a religious path and devoted to a religious life that's bringing them great happiness? You can quote me on this one. It's a quote from my journal. I came up with it myself. It's my favorite one. And I said, life and creation are incomprehensible, but happiness is something you can comprehend for an eternity. And I believe that really is the meaning of life and what we came here to learn. And quote, Patrick Toe, or Tree Toe, or Try To, or one of the many names I throw around when I show up, wherever I show up. Okay, thanks. Bye.